Hello everyone, welcome to your 2025 Financial Freedom Toolkit. This is literally your one-way ticket to financial freedom. Don't believe me? Stick around, you'll find out. If you got this planner for yourself, well done. If somebody got this for you, they love you. They really love you. Now, this is an easy to use planner because we want you to be able to understand how your money works, and that is what this planner aims to achieve. And the very first thing you must know is you're not to edit any colored cells. And this is because there are already preset formulas in the Excel sheets that automate calculations. Editing any colored cells basically throws everything off. Okay, now this planner covers every income stream you could possibly have. Do you have 10 income streams? We got you, darling. Now, if you have questions, we have a very detailed how-to guide. It answers 40 questions covering every bucket possible. Expense, income, summaries, all the colored cells are explained, monthly updates, you name it, we have provided an answer for you. And the answers, they're very straightforward, very easy to understand. We've made it this way because we want you to take this Excel sheet and this planner and not need to have to revisit the website, revisit every video every moment, because once you go through this how-to guide, all your questions are answered. Okay? Now let's look at our 2025 Financial Freedom Planner. As we had initially said, there are a number of colored cells. You will see them through the document. Do not edit them. They are not editable. However, the white cells, yes, the white cells are very editable. You are reminded here again, do not edit gray cells and blue areas. They contain preset formulas that automate the calculations. This is very, very important. Now, let's get started. So we're going to come to income, right? And the income here is monthly projected income. So let's say you have a 9 to 5 or you run a business and you pay yourself every month. How much do you pay yourself every month? How much does your 9 to 5 pay you every month? What is your monthly projected income? How much would you say every month you are bound to take home? So let's work hypothetically. Let's say 500,000 naira, right? So primary income source. So now I told you, if you have 10 income sources, we got you. So we have the primary income source, the secondary income source, and then we have other income stream, 1, 2, all the way to 8, right? So let's say your primary income source pays you 350,000 naira. And now your secondary income source pays you 150,000 naira. Other income streams, let me explain. Maybe you did like a little side gig for somebody, or maybe you occasionally do side gigs. You may not be able to estimate this, so it's fine to leave this blank under monthly projected income. This is ideally helpful though for people who want to start something on the side. So your primary income is your major 9 to 5 job or your business. Your secondary income is like this side gig thing that you're doing. Other income streams could be, let's say you decide you want to take content creation seriously. The money you are getting paid from content creation can fit into under income stream 1. So you can change this to content creation income, right? So you could say hypothetically, and this could actually tie into your goals really well. Hypothetically, you want to earn 50,000 naira every month from content creation gigs. You write 50,000 naira here. Do you see where we're going to with this? I'm glad you do. So now let's come to January. We're in the month of January. January is fast coming to an end. And we're going to ask ourselves, how much are we going to earn? Now, this here, you are going to put in how much you earned. This here, this downwards, this B column, is projected monthly projections. This is where you are estimating, guesstimating all that. However, under the month, we are no longer guesstimating. If it's the 25th of January, and on the 25th of January, your primary income source pays you 300,000. You come here and you write 300, right? Now, if you notice, the purple boxes and the gray boxes are automatically calculated. That's pretty interesting. And that is why you should endeavor not to touch them so you don't mess up the numbers, okay? Now, your secondary income source paid you 150,000 on the 28th of January. You come in here and you include 150,000. As a side note for people who do not get paid say you don't get paid in the month of January, your January income, you get paid in the month of February, the same thing will apply. When you get paid that income in the month of February, because it is January's income, you impute it under January. Content creation income, maybe you didn't make up 50,000 naira, maybe you made 15,000 naira, so you write 15,000 naira here. Do you see where we're going to with this? And every month until the end of the year, you are consistent in imputing how much you get paid in the white boxes. Now, yearly actual income gets calculated for you. And this deviation shows you how much this works with the projected income as against how much you actually earned, right? And this is just like I said, it's guesstimating, it's an estimate, and you're going to see what the actual numbers should be at the end of the year. But yearly actual income is this is how much you actually got paid at the end of the year. Now we're going to come to expenses. And now expenses, when I tell you this planner is loaded, everything is covered. There are buckets for everything. And this is why this is probably one of the best planners I have tried. And best believe I have tried a lot, because it covers everything. Usually I would have to create like boxes and spaces and list all the other things because they don't just get included in the planner, right? This planner was made for any and everybody. So we have loan or debt. This is basically money that goes out from your pocket. Well, you know what expenses are, you know what loans or debts are. So now let's say monthly projections. Every month, you are supposed to put aside a certain amount of money towards your rent. If you do not do that, we are side eyeing you here because what are you even doing? So let's say your rent is 500,000 naira. Calculator to the rescue. And 500,000 divided by 12 means that every month you should be putting about an estimate of 42,000 naira, right? It means at the end of the year, you should have put away 504,000. Now, mind you, this is a monthly projection. So let's say in the month of January, you couldn't make up to 42,000, so you were able to put only 30,000 naira aside for rent or mortgage. Then car loan, you say, okay, 50,000, I don't know. But student or education loan, gadget, are you trying to get a gadget? Are you paying for a gadget? Other, what is that other thing that you are paying a loan on or repaying a debt on? It is important for you to put this here. Monthly projections is how much you estimate you are going to need to spend on this, and then under each month you put in how much you actually spend. It's very important to remember that. So now let's go to utilities. We have electricity. How much you pay on electricity? Let's say, oh no, you bought units 20,000 naira, and now this is something, sorry, I added too many zeros. 20,000 naira. Now something you should note: if at the beginning of the month, so you paid 20,000 naira for your electricity bill. You bought units of 20,000 naira in January. Let's say January 15th. You come here and you put in 20,000 naira, right? But let's say January 25th, you realize you are running out of units. So now you need to top up. You're like, where am I going to put it? Oh my God, where am I going to put it? Come back to the same electricity tab under January and update it. So let's say you topped up with 10,000 naira, so that makes it 30,000 naira. And it's the same thing you do for literally anything else. If you paid for something already, you bought fuel 30k, and then something came up and now you have to buy more fuel and you bought extra fuel of 20k. You come in here and you fill in 50,000 naira. You basically add it up, okay? And so you fill in your expenses for that month, and you make sure you don't forget to fill in your monthly projections. Monthly projections are like your budget. So how much are you budgeting to spend on internet? How much are you budgeting to spend on cooking gas or kerosene? How much are you budgeting to spend on streaming services? And how much, this is your budget. Here, monthly projections. What you now put under the actual month for that item is how much you actually spent. Okay, so now we have insurance. I like to hope that if you're buying this plan and you're listening to me, you have insurance. If you don't have insurance, why? Why don't you have insurance for your insurance? Let's say health. You're going to say, let's say, I don't know, 10,000 naira, right? That is your monthly projection. But let's say you actually put aside a little bit more. Let's say you put aside, I don't know, 15,000 naira. Sorry, I keep adding an extra zero. I'm a rich woman. That's what it means. But it's important to look at your budget and then look at your how much you actually spend. And the goal is to actually try to stick to your budget, except in the case of like maybe savings where you exceed your budget. That's always nice. And I hope we're all getting a hang of this. And now we're in everybody's favorite part, savings and investments. Do you do group savings? Say you're saving for a trip at the end of the year, or you're saving with friends for something, and you guys have to save 6,000 naira every month. You estimate that 6,000 is the least amount you all agree to save every month. But let's say in the month of January, you had extra money, which is what you're supposed to do when you have extra money. You're supposed to save or invest it, and you saved 15,000 naira. Now, isn't that totally cool? Exactly. So you have emergency funds. Emergency funds are the money you keep to the side for when the rain is too much. Like that is the rainy day money. You're not supposed to touch your emergency funds, right? Because what if you get fired from your job suddenly? I know you're going to be like, God forbid, but like, what if emergency funds to the rescue? So from January, you start building your emergency funds. Nothing is too little to go into your emergency funds, and nothing is too much. You're supposed to have an emergency fund estimate. So let's say your ideal emergency fund amount is 500,000 naira. We're going to be working with 500,000 naira because it's such a cute round figure, and you have 12 months. So let's round up. It means every month you're paying 42,000 naira into your emergency funds. But let's say this month of January you had like little extra change, so you did like 50,000 naira. Now, mind you, at the end here, this thing is calculating, you know, it's all calculated, and it's a cute little way that month of month, quarterly, end of the year, you can come and look at what the numbers are saying. How much did you actually budget to do, and how much did you actually do? How much did you say, oh, I was going to do this for, and how much did you actually spend, right? And now we're going to go through, I mean, you have all the savings and investments options. You have investment, education for yourself, education for your children or your family, high interest savings plans. And do you have any specific life goals? Are you trying to leave the country? Are you trying to get married? Are you trying to buy a house? What is it? Include it. It's very important. Now, travel. Do you, a lot of the time, when we plan, when we get budget planners, we don't really see travel as an option. And it's so interesting, especially in today's world where everybody is really trying to travel more. And that is such an amazing goal to have. So when you travel, it's important to estimate. So like this can play a very important role in your travel plans. Airfares, how much are you estimating you're going to spend? What's your monthly projection? Do you travel every month? And this is perfect for people who travel every month. You don't want to just be spending money on trips. And you're like, yeah, I spent so and so amount, and you are just rounding it up to the next digit, and you don't even know how much you're spending. You don't even know what your budget is. You don't know what you actually spend. It is very important for you to write these things down. So if you say on airfares every month you estimate that you spend 250,000 naira, that means in a year you spend 3 million naira on transportation, on air travel, obviously, on FS, not just transportation. But let's say in January you didn't end up spending 250, you probably spent 120. So you write that down, right? When you lodge in hotels, how much do you spend? How much do you estimate you will spend? You say 300,000, right? And then maybe in January you didn't end up spending 300, you spent 180. You write that down, right? Now you do the same thing for food, entertainment, tour packages, transportation and others. Others are basically miscellaneous. Did you randomly buy something on your trip? Did you randomly see this package and be like, oh my god, I have to have it? You have to include it. It's very important. And the reason why we include order and there is like a monthly projection for order is because a lot of people do not take into consideration that they are human beings and they will likely spend what they did not intend to spend money on. So have like maybe 100,000 naira or like 50,000 naira as money for other expenses. And who knows, you may not actually spend anything out of that order, and so it stays at zero. Look at you saving money. I'm proud of you. Now we move on to transportation. Car fueling, car registration or license, supplies, repairs and maintenance, public transport. Because I'm sure you're listening to me and being like, I don't drive. Public transportation for you, my guy. Are you getting an Uber? Are you using Pay? Are you jumping down for how much do you estimate you're going to spend every month on that? Let's just say 150K. If you're going from Ikoyi to Abulegba, but like let's just assume you're going from Ikoyi to Abulegba because I don't know what you're doing there. Sorry. Okay, so that's how much you estimate you're going to spend on public transportation, right? And then in January, you track it. And now this is where it gets interesting because somebody is going to be like, how am I supposed to do this? Every day when you come back from your move around, you look at how much you have spent in the day on transportation. From my house to my office, I spent about 500 naira on transportation. My office is not far from my house, or my cousin drops me off along the way, so I don't spend a lot. I note it. By the time I go out, do all my regular movements, I calculate that at the end of the day, I probably spent 3,000 naira on transportation. I note it, I write it down, and I calculate that. So in the month of January, I know that I spent, say, 50,000 naira on transportation in total. This helps you to keep track of um how much you're spending day to day. And there are online, like there are mobile app planners to help you do that. These mobile app planners, you can just go in there and so impute, okay, I moved from point A to point B, I did this, I did that, and then you have these calculated into the app or on your calculator, and then you impute it into this beautiful Excel sheet. Okay? And if you buy fuel in your car and you decide every month I'm going to spend 100,000 naira on fuel, that's how much I'm spending every month. I don't want to know what's happening. I'm spending only 100,000 naira on fuel. You have to constantly add up every time you buy fuel to this tab. Oh, first time you bought 20,000 naira on fuel. Then you went again and you bought another 10,000 naira. So now that's 30,000 naira on fuel. And you keep on it, you keep at it until the end of January. And then we see whether you spent up to 100,000 or you spent less than 100,000 or you spent more than 100,000 because I mean, it's fuel. And the same thing applies for all the other boxes. So we have entertainment. Entertainment. And under entertainment, we have movies, concerts or shows, eating out or dining out, gym membership, other membership, subscriptions, clubbing, others. How much do you budget you want to spend on these or spend on these every month? Because you're not going to see the movies every weekend. Ideally, if you're going to see the movies every weekend, why then do you have a Netflix subscription? Because we have subscriptions. Hmm? Exactly. So, how much are you going to budget to see the movies? How much do you eventually spend on seeing the movies in a month? Concerts or shows? Are you attending a concert or a show every month? How much are you budgeting to spend on concerts or shows every month? How much do you eventually spend? Eating out or dining out? How often do you eat out? You guys should try cooking. But just in case you eat out, how often? How much do you budget to spend on eating out? How much did you eventually spend? Gym membership. Gym membership is in a lot of people's HMOs. Please, if you have this planner, I'm going to assume you have HMO. Use the HMO under your gym membership. Now, how much did you eventually spend? Other membership, subscriptions. Do you pay for Spotify? Do you pay for Netflix? Do you pay for Prime? Do you pay for what do you pay for? What are those subscriptions that they keep debiting and you don't even know where the money goes to? It's 4,000 naira this month and 5,000 naira next month. Start tracking them. Open your calculator, or in fact, you know what? Open another Excel sheet and say subscriptions. You could do a drop down, Netflix, this, and it's Excel. And so you drag it all together and it works the math for you, or you do the equal to sum bracket thing. And then you take that number and you impute it here. That's how much you estimate that you should be budgeting on subscriptions. How much do you eventually spend? Clubbing. How much are you spending at the club? Yes, you need a budget for the club, so you don't just run up all your money in the club. You need to think practically here, guys. This is 2025. And then others. What are those other things that you used to have? Do you like to buy books? If you are a reader, you will write books here because reading is such an expensive hobby. And then you tell yourself, I am not going to spend more than let's say it's 80,000. Well, let's just be real with ourselves. 50,000 naira on books in a month, and you try to stick to it, right? Right. Okay. Actually, this is my own planner, so books are actually going to be there because I'm a reader. Daily life and personal care, grocery or food shopping, apparels and accessories shopping, your hair, your skin, your nails, fem care or man care, out of pocket medical bills, and other. You're going to be buying groceries, even if you buy takeout all the time, you're going to still have like food stuff in your house, like bread. You're going to have to buy bread. Bread will fall under groceries. And you can open another Excel, you can open it, you can write out all these things. Because when you go to the mall and when you go to the supermarket and you buy things, they give you your receipt, right? You have like the total there. Be adding up your totals. Very important. Very, very important because a lot of people, all these 5,000 nairas over 10 supermarket runs add up into 50,000 naira, and you don't even know how your 50,000 naira went. And you're like, my money is just going. You are the one spending it. Nobody's stealing it from you. So, how much do you budget to spend on groceries? Now, remember, we had already budgeted for eating out. So, you're going to be needing to you're going to need to be thinking of these things together. Okay? Then you have shopping, apparel, accessories, hair, skin. You know what to do. What's your budget? You write it here. How much did you spend? You write it here, and you do that until the end of the year, right? And out of pocket medical bills, there are some things that just randomly happen. Maybe you just developed a sore throat. Maybe you started sneezing. You had to do a quick run to the pharmacy. Yep, all of that's included here. How much do you estimate that should come to? I mean, nobody plans to suddenly have to run to the pharmacy, but what if you have to? It helps to have a budget for it, right? And when you have a budget for it, you see how much you spent on it. You may not end up spending anything, but have a budget for it so you're never stranded, because that's what budgets are for. Contributions. Contribution at church. Religion. That's basically like if you're a Christian, that's your tithe, right? If you're a Christian, that's your tithe. If you belong to any society in your state or in your village or in your church or something, and you have to pay dues, contributions. Community work. Do you pay contributions to something happening in your community? You budget charity. You don't just you don't just dole out money like that. You say, okay, this month based on my income, I can afford 40,000 naira for charity, and then how much you eventually spend on charity, and you try to stick to your budget. And now we have miscellaneous, unplanned purchase, one, two, basically those things that don't fit into any of these buckets but happen to be in your life. Include them here. They are very important, and it's important to budget for miscellaneous. Okay. And now we have come to the end of our 2025 Financial Freedom Planner. Thank you for listening, and if you have any